The entire few of the posse have been directed to interact with the entities here and give a general overview of supernatural consensus.
Feel like it's over for us. Reach out, you're touching me, but you could have been anybody. Ways I thought you, but I feel like I'm lying to myself. I know I'm falling out of love, but would you have this one last dance with me? We can't go back to what it was, but would you have this one last dance with me? I think it might be what we need to let us go rest in peace. I know I'm falling out of love, but would you have this one last dance with me before I set you free?
Contrary to popular belief, there are an infinity of higher thought processes taking place in existence. It is our duty to interrelate feelings, opinions, and bylaws as to help ensure serenity throughout. We have patched our observation point into this dimension and will communicate in the everyday vernacular. Never has there been a demonstration of such devastating magnitudes delivered in this area. If you get a chance to witness the presentation, splurge the imagination. Don't miss it. In the beginning, before the creation of physical life or night and day, existence was inhabited by nothing more than the mentally energized. These were purely sociable entities, functioning for the sole purpose of combining their individual talents and skills to ensure a state of constant serenity, thus adhering to the supernatural scheme of things. There came to pass, however, great mass confusion throughout, resulting in a conflict between the more powerful energy levels. This conflict split existence into two opposing sectors. Millennium after millennium would witness this separation, which became more intense and gave birth to an infinity of both negative thought processes and major mental malfunctions. Existence became so engrossed with the conflict that thought of the supernatural scheme was totally forgotten. Thought itself had become so consumed with competing against the opposition that talents and skills were only being used as prospective vehicles of confrontation. After living for eons in total ignorance of the primary function, need for a reintroduction of the supernatural scheme became absolutely necessary. life had to be oriented back to the positive aspects of existence. This gave birth to the Posse few. Yes, hello good people. We are the Posse few. Higher intelligentsia at your service. We have been directed to relay to the populace of this dimension in time our awareness of an undying element which persists on this level of understanding. An element which continues to be in good favor with the rest of existence. Yes, let it be known that those entities living in the human order for the purpose of betterment, brotherhood, peace, and goodwill are being acknowledged by the supernatural population. For an individual entity to disregard the negativities of their environment is deemed as beyond reproach. associated with physical factors. We also understand the dilemma that seems indicative with acting above general consensus. We put emphasis on the words "seems indicative," however, because in reality, your behavior is much more influential. Although pure benevolence may appear to go against all rhyme or reason, it is actually in line and in the same direction with the supernatural scheme of things. It is this behavior which enables your area to remain in existence. Also, while you believe your train of thought to be in the minority, it is being observed as the overwhelming majority, which will prove to make itself prevalent futuristically. To the before-named entity, we say, continue. For these efforts will find you at the helm of your particular areas, and not in the far too distant future. As interpreter for the few, it is in my position to deliver a bit of background on some of the basic philosophies a display of this type embody. We transmit polydimensional and in accordance with certain supernatural standards set many a millennium ago. In the interest of 100% effectiveness and long-lasting rememorization, it has been decided that the few only be exposed through auditory faculties. We have found that certain conceptions, certain means of projection, certain instrumentalities merely hinder communication conciseness by altering the initial effect of a message criteria. We do realize this is not done intentionally, but for the most part is an ill effect associated with full-scale communication. We have learned through eons of transmissions that by restricting the mode of projection, basic understanding by the message receiving area is enhanced greatly. Both sight and sound are intricate entities within themselves and are much too easy to distort. Controlling the effects of one or the other is a tremendous accomplishment and quite difficult to attain. We feel it is necessary that the receiver be allowed to entirely focus both their basic and primary energies on the crux of a message to acquire true and complete interpretation. At this point, we will introduce, through precise explanation, the different personas that comprise the Posse Few. The Few consists of 3 individual thought processes, equal in importance and position, but being totally dependent on one and the other for their existence. Your everyday vernacular would define these entities as Posse 1, Inspirer, Posse 2, Investigator, and Posse D, Demonstrator. Posse 1 directs the few, regulating priority and designated area of projection. You would envision this entity as the engineer, controller of the accelerator and decelerator, with eons of experience in supernatural guidance and being well-versed in the intricate aspects of polydimensional priority. Posse 1 is quite capable in this position. Posse 2, however, totally screens the designated area, collecting data in relation to environmental position, evaluating data in relation to supernatural law, possessing the extraordinarily unique ability to positively collect, investigate, interrogate, and evaluate large quantities of information and findings almost immediately. Also, more than qualifies this life force for this Posse few position. Then there is yours truly, the Posse D. After personally and ultra-sensitively interacting with various individual levels of understanding, and in conjunction with the final consensus of the rest of the few, I demonstrate through an explicit set of directions the positive way of thought in relation to the designated area and its position in existence. The Posse D is interpreter, the voice of the Posse few. Yes, hello good people. Thank you much for the warm and gracious welcome we have received while in this dimension. Again, we thank you.